So this time from the DC Universe Classics Series 16, we're going to be taking a look at Jonah Hex. And Jonah Hex first appeared in All-Star Western number 10 in 1972. So although he's a Western character, he's a fairly recent Western character, considering most of the Western characters made their appearances in the 50s and the 60s, sometimes even the 40s. Also, it's interesting to note although his first official appearance was in All-Star Western number 10, he first appeared in ads throughout the DC Comics line in 1971, advertising his appearance in All-Star Western. So taking a look at the back of the package there, you can see the biography and statistics, picture of the figure, as well as the other figures in the line and the Collect and Connect Bane. Now this is a good figure, but I think there's lots of room for improvement here. I am kind of disappointed in it. First, looking at the figure's sculpt, I'm very happy with this. You get a nice, very dirtied up, old Confederate uniform, because he did fight on the side of the Confederates in the Civil War. You get nice detail. You can make out the belt buckle here, the CSA for the Confederate States of America. You get nice details on his holster there. You can see on his clothes dirt and grime and tears and holes. So you can tell that he's been out riding the trail for a while. There's nice, very nice, I guess it's a cavalry hat. Nice details on the boots with the spurs as well. His dungarees, blue jeans, whatever. He's got a couple of feathers there on the side of his bandolier. It's got bullets on it, and in the back a place for his sawed-off shotgun. See buttons on his shirt. Very nice details on his leather gloves. Detail with his face, his horribly scarred face. Very nice. Even the hair on the back and on the other side, you got his sideburns. Nice blue eyes. Very nice. We got sneer on his face. Very nice sculpting wise on the figure. Paint as well. You can see inside the mouth there. Color painted really well on the scar. The only thing is that the skin tone here on his face and neck don't really match. For accessories, he comes with a revolver and a sawed-off shotgun. I admit I'm not a big Jonah Hex fan. I believe he had a specific revolver. Actually, he would use two of them. And it was the Navy model of the Colt. I don't think this is exactly it. It doesn't look like it, and he's only got one of them. So that's a little bit disappointing. But you can place it in the holster there. It doesn't really stay in there too well. Both weapons are made of a very rubbery plastic, which is also not something that I am too happy about. They do fit into his hand pretty well. You still gotta manipulate it a little bit there, and you can fit his hand through the trigger guard of the pistol, as well as on this hand the trigger guard of the sawed-off shotgun. This weapon, I really have problems with it being so rubbery and flexible. While it's painted really nice, and there's kind of a wood grain detail in the sculpt itself, it's just it's too rubbery. Can hold it pretty well in both hands, putting his finger through the trigger guard there. Again, because it is rubbery, it tends to slip out every once in a while. You can also store his weapon back here, thread it through there so he can hold that, which would have made more sense if he had another pistol, so he could dual wield the pistols as well as having the sawed-off shotgun on the back there. So for articulation, his head goes left and right and up and down very nicely. His arms do go all the way around. He rotates at the bicep. The shoulders here do not go out to the side too much because of the sculpt here. So, and that was a little bit disappointing because you can't get as many poses as you can with other figures. He bends at the elbow, although not as wide range of movement as other figures. He rotates at the wrist. He's got no ab articulation because of the sculpt here. I really don't mind that. He's got waist articulation. His legs are very limited by the end of his shirt here. It is flexible, soft plastic, but doesn't really flex out of the way too much. So, but he can still go in and out pretty well. He rotates at the bottom thigh, bends at the knee, and bends at the ankle. Well, there's a lot more to his story than what is said in the biography. He was sold into slavery by his father, and he actually then lived for a certain time as a slave to the chief of this Apache tribe. However, he saved the chief from a mountain lion, and the chief from then on treated him as his own son. This got the chief's actual son very jealous. There was some betrayal. The actual son challenged Jonah to a tomahawk fight. Unknown to everybody, the chief's son had sabotaged Jonah's tomahawk to break. And so when Jonah pulled a knife to defend himself from the attacking chief, that broke the trust of the tribe. And even though he beat the chief's son in combat and spared him his life, they took offense to that. So the chief punished him by taking a hot tomahawk to the side of his face, thus burning and scarring him forever. And then the tribe ostracized him and left him for dead. He, of course, survived and went on to become a soldier and bounty hunter. He even spent some time in the future, or a future, in the year 2050. He then returned to the past and had a wife and child, and tried to make go of it as a farmer. But that life didn't take to him, or he didn't take to that life, and so he went back to doing what he knew best, and that is bounty hunting. Died in the year 1904 and was shot during a card game. His body was preserved and became a display in a traveling circus / rodeo, and thus he became a very famous attraction. And his body eventually ended up being bought by Booster Gold for display in one of the Planet Krypton themed restaurants. Don't know what has happened to the Planet Krypton since Booster Gold had a few hard times there, and I don't know if he sold it or closed the restaurant. You know, what's become of his preserved body. He did show up during Blackest Night as a Black Lantern. Again, I'm not a real big Jonah Hex fan. I do like the character. I like a lot of characters. It's just not my thing. I do like him when he appears. I love the sort of backdoor pilot of the Batman animated series Showdown, where he was voiced by William McKinney. Even his Justice League Unlimited appearance in the episode Once and Future Thing Part 1, where he is voiced by Adam Baldwin, or Jane from Firefly. I haven't seen his appearances in Batman the Brave and the Bold, but he is voiced by Phil Morris. There's the movie, the recent movie from last year, starring Josh Brolin, which I haven't seen, but it is in my Netflix queue, so I do want to see it at some point. I know it didn't get that good a review. However, I've got to say, I really enjoyed the DC Showcase short that came with Under the Red Hood. Short, what is it, like a 10-minute, 15-minute little story. He is voiced by Thomas Jane. Beautiful animation. A little bit anime, but it is that sort of, I don't know, that, not the wide-eyed, over-the-top anime, but, you know, it is that noirish anime, I guess you could call it. That'll be it for the Series 16 DC Universe Classics figure of Jonah Hex. And so long, and until my next video, I'll see you.